Think deeper than others dare. Most people don't actually think. They react, they absorb opinions, follow noise, repeat what feels safe. But real power begins where comfort ends. It begins when you question what everyone else blindly accepts. You walk into a room and you can already tell who's playing the game and who's being played. The loudest person isn't the most powerful. The most agreeable one isn't the most trusted. And the one who seems quiet, they're usually the one observing everything. People reveal more than they intend, not through what they say, but through what they do when they think no one is paying attention. A slight hesitation before answering, a forced smile, a compliment that feels just a bit too calculated. If you train yourself to notice these things, you stop living on the surface and start seeing the structure underneath. Most conflicts aren't about what they seem. Arguments aren't about truth. They're about control, ego, and positioning. When someone raises their voice, it's rarely because they're right. It's because they're losing control of the narrative. And the one who understands this doesn't react emotionally. They step back and let the other person expose themselves. Thinking deeper means asking uncomfortable questions. Why did they say that? What do they gain from this situation? Who benefits if I believe this? Once you start thinking this way, you realize how much of the world runs on hidden motives rather than honest intentions. Trust becomes more selective, not because you become cold, but because you become aware. You understand that loyalty is often conditional, respect is often strategic, and kindness sometimes comes with expectations attached. You begin to notice patterns. The friend who only shows up when they need something, the colleague who agrees in public but competes in private, the person who praises you today but distances themselves when you start growing too fast. None of it is random. And once you see these patterns, you stop taking things personally. That's the real shift. You stop reacting emotionally to predictable behavior. Instead, you adjust your actions. You move differently. You speak less, observe more, and reveal only what's necessary. Silence becomes a tool. Not weakness, not fear. Control. Because when you don't rush to explain yourself, people are forced to fill the gaps with their own assumptions. And those assumptions often tell you exactly how they see you. You also realize something else. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts. The more valuable your thinking becomes, the less you should give it away freely. Because information in the wrong hands is leverage against you. Most people seek validation. They want to be understood, liked, accepted. But deeper thinking makes you question that need. Why should everyone understand you? Why should everyone agree with you? Sometimes, being misunderstood is actually a form of protection. The world respects clarity, but it fears unpredictability. If people can't fully read you, they hesitate. And hesitation creates space. Space you can use to position yourself better, move smarter, and avoid unnecessary conflict. This doesn't mean becoming manipulative. It means becoming aware of manipulation. It means understanding the game without being controlled by it. Because whether people admit it or not, life is a series of silent negotiations. Power shifts constantly. Roles change, alliances form and break, and the ones who survive and rise aren't always the strongest or the smartest. They're the ones who see what others ignore. Thinking deeper also forces you to confront yourself. Your own weaknesses, your own patterns, your own blind spots. It's easy to analyze others. It's harder to analyze your own behavior without bias. But that's where real growth happens. You start asking yourself the same questions. Why did I react that way? What am I avoiding? What do I actually want beyond what looks good on the surface? And the answers aren't always comfortable, but they're necessary. Because once you understand yourself, you become harder to manipulate, harder to influence, harder to control. You stop chasing things that don't matter. Approval, attention, empty recognition. Instead, you focus on leverage, position, timing. You realize that not every opportunity is worth taking, not every battle is worth fighting, and not every person is worth explaining yourself to. Most people live their lives on autopilot. They follow patterns they never question. They react to situations they don't understand. And they wonder why they keep ending up in the same place. But when you think deeper than others dare, you break that cycle. You stop being predictable. And that's when everything changes.